Welcome back to a very, very special episode of Superhero Roundup. Kind of live, not really. It's taped. That's not how live works, is it?
But you know what? We're alive.
We are live. She's got a point. And guys, today we've got a very special guest to talk about Captain America Civil War. Mr. Arris Quinones from Variant Comics.
Yes,
How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you guys
Can
doing?
we get a quick applause for Arris really quick? I'm sorry, there's people standing on the side of the thing that aren't clapping. One more time. 1, 2, 3. Thank you.
I love everyone's concentrated paces to clap as fast as possible.
Yeah, as quickly as possible. Arris, really quick, tell them about Variant Comics, how cool it is.
How cool it is. Okay.
Yeah.
I love it.
Here's my pitch. Variant Comics, basically we talk about all things comics. We have 2 episodes a week. We have a Wednesday episode, which is like, I do history of characters, versus episodes, reviews, top 10s, top 5s, and then Saturdays is like one-shot episodes, where it's basically I'll do like a 2 to 3 minute origin of like Thor's hammer, Captain America's shield, or like anything that I feel like doing that week. So like the tagline is we talk about all things comics.
Yeah.
So video games, movies, comics, whatever. If it's like
You are wearing a Star Wars shirt.
Yes.
And as a big Star Wars fan, I do have to ask, is there any conflict there? Or because Star Wars has comics, that's kind of like in lieu of what you're
Oh,
Yeah,
you've
it
done
is.
some.
Yeah, I've done something. I did like a whole Star Wars little month and stuff like that. I love Star Wars.
Star Wars
And the new
month.
comics are awesome right now.
That's what I've heard.
They
The
really
top
are.
selling of 2015, which is not surprising whatsoever.
I digress, but Kanan comics are probably my favorite out of the lot.
Yes.
They're
Yes.
so great. Anyway.
So good.
Bunch of nerds on the couch, am I right? I will say you guys should maybe check out his, who's the most powerful superhero? Like when
Yes,
you do
that's
that,
a
like
series
it's
that-
basically like this person versus Superman comparatively, and then you did the Flash, and I was like, all right.
Are you gonna do him justice?
Yeah,
Are
you
gonna
do
be honest?
justice.
Flash can't
And you did
fly.
good. And actually, you're the one who did the Reverse Flash video when I was like, I tried to do my research when I got into comics. I'm like, God damn it, this person is so goddamn complicated when you had time travel and like you meet
yeah.
people at
Dude.
different points in your life.
It's crazy because like I know a lot about him, but like going back and actually like doing a whole script or like trying to hit like 50 plus years or whatever, like a long time. It's hard to put everything into time
kills you.
travel.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, that was retconned. Okay, no, that's back again. So it's like. And then if you get it wrong on like the internet, and they're like,
No.
yeah, you don't want to do that.
Don't want to mess that up.
Fake fan.
Or if you have
guys-
a different opinion to them as well. No.
No. Well, people might get a little bit mad about this video.
Please respect our opinions. We're
Yes.
able to have one, and we
Our
respect yours as
spoiler-free
well.
opinions.
Yeah.
We're going to be very careful today. Guys, we were able to go attend the Captain America Civil War world premiere.
We were.
I freaked out internally. I tried to control myself because we were around a lot of professionals.
We certainly were.
But on the inside, when the credits started rolling in the beginning, I was like,
You did. You had a little bit of a. Well, you looked at me like,
I had a few moments where I almost started like tearing up. I'm like, this is everything. This is it. This is everything.
It was off the back of doing the red carpet, the world premiere for that one. Sam and I were able to hit that up as well. So let's take a look at what happened there.
Nice throw.
Yo, SourceFedNERD, we're at a world premiere for the Captain America Civil War. May have heard of it?
We are. I'm Team Iron Man.
I'm Team Cap. Every time you go to high five someone, do they flinch because it looks like you're going to break their armor?
No, I do break their arm.
You were the bad guy and you were infiltrating and betraying everyone. And then all of a sudden, you are not you, but you are even worse than you.
I know, they just keep upping the evil switch. I wonder what's going to happen in season 4.
And you have to choose a side, so which one is it?
Team Hydra.
Ah, you son of a bitch.
I would say Captain America.
Why is
I
that?
believe in a freedom.
But you're wearing both colors, red and blue. Who are you going for?
I'm playing the fence. I'm a hero for hire. That's me. I'm not deciding anything just yet, okay?
Smart.
I'm just a fan. I love to come watch what's next. I can't wait to see the movie.
It's not fun to have people rub up against each other and then make nice. That feels like cheating. This didn't feel like cheating. This feels like an argument that they carried all the way.
We want people to walk out of here split. So whoever's sitting next to you tonight when you watch the movie, I would like that person to be Team Iron Man and you to be Team Cap.
Now let's get back to the movie because
Let's
it was
get into
it was
it.
hella
Yes.
fun. We're actually in the
Guys.
same cinema where they host the Academy Awards every single year.
Which is like a goddamn. That's where gladiators fight. That thing is
Yeah.
enormous, which was fantastic. But let's hit some overall feelings for Captain America Civil War. Spoiler free. So guys,
free.
everybody can watch this.
I don't even
It's
need
fun.
words for mine. You ready for it?
That's a good kick, right?
Yeah, I got caught.
Yeah.
It wasn't the best.
Shoe
I
off.
Came off.
Can you imagine if I flung it at the camera and it fell over?
That would have been, and that's it. That's
Yeah,
basically
that's it.
spoiler free is a foot to the face. What about you?
I loved it, man. It's crazy. It's funny because like there was lots of moments that made me gasping while I
Yes.
cheer and stuff. But like not to name drop or anything, but like Dane Cook was sitting right next to me, so I'm like trying to like restrain myself. I'm like,
cool.
yeah. No, it's cool. Yeah, it's cool. But funny enough, you would find him. He goes, oh. Yeah. And he's like making gross. He's like, yeah, because he's a big big nerd too. But I really people are like, I'm not saying much about it, but like I really don't have many complaints like overall. I mean, we might get into that later, but like I just as of now I'm like kind of in shock. I'm like, yes, that is what I want.
Yeah. I'm interested. What was because Sam and I would look at each other through a lot of things, and like you now understand how I watch movies, and I'm all in.
Yeah,
with that experience.
All in.
But I want to know from you, like just using your face, what was your face doing through the majority of the movie? And I think we should all do it now.
Perfect. That's about it. That's how it was. Overall, for me, I made a decision last night when I was driving home. I'm like, I have a tendency to get really excited about movies, and when I see them before other people, and something slips, and I'm like, and this movie is special for me, so I'm being very careful. When spoiler-free review, I'm going to be extra careful. So I decided the best way to sum it up is this. That's the best I can do. That's
and you're smiling as well.
I am smiling. That could infer that Spider-Man gets murdered in this movie. No, don't read into anything.
You just slipped because now people are like, well, does he or doesn't he? Because either way, you've
I don't know.
And then like if he doesn't, like someone else.
Don't worry, Batman and Superman show up in this movie. That's what that smile implies from that. Anyways, but I thoroughly enjoyed this movie.
I was a big fan of this. And I think the biggest conversation that a lot of people will be talking about is comparing it with Batman v Superman and also comparing it with Age of Ultron, which was the last big Marvel Avenger movie that we saw.
All Marvel movies, I wanted to get your guys' opinion. Compared to other Marvel movies, where does this rank? Without going in depth, where does this rank? Actually, let's start with what's your favorite Marvel movie before this? Movie.
I thought Deadpool was a really great contender, and it is one of the more recent movies that have come out, but it did something very, very different to what we've seen with the Avengers previously. It was a new kind of like protagonist done in a very vigilante kind of anti-hero way, which I appreciated, and that humor was on point.
My favorite one up until, or before this, was Winter Soldier.
Winter Soldier, that one. Same here.
Winter Soldier was great.
It was a fun genre mix-up of superheroes with a political thriller.
Yes.
Also, Robert Redford in a movie? Of course, I'm already sold. That was an ace in the hole for Marvel.
Right.
Oh, sorry, I just spit a little bit.
You were so excited.
I'm excited. But for me, I'd have to say Winter Soldier is my favorite, but I think it may have been just a little bit past now with Civil War.
That's exactly
Civil
what
War
I was
is better.
Go. Yes.
Civil War is better than all the other movies so far. I think we can consecutively agree with that.
Yeah, they shockingly did a one-up. They one-upped it. Like I was very surprised. I'm like, because I liked it so much. I'm like, you could probably hit it on par, but can you do better? And to, I'm shocked they did it, which I'm very happy with.
They did it elegantly.
Yes. I wonder if that's because they do have consecutive directors and writers with this. They've kind of know the characters better than everything. They're not getting someone in going, ooh, okay, I have a great idea. I'm not listening to anyone else because this is my idea. They really understand the characters, and when I spoke to the writers about it, I was like, they've worked together for so long. Bye, Raina.
She's tired.
For so long. What is it like for them to not only disagree with one another, but for it to cause a civil war? And they were just like, well, these are our characters that we know and love very well. And this is, it's to see that kind of dynamic where no one's wrong, but there's a disagreement that, that ends up in massive conflict. It was exciting for them to be able to evolve these characters, and I think because we have seen these origin stories like Winter Soldier already, which is a great lead up but tells a story in itself, to constantly reach that benchmark and then beat it is a hard thing. So kudos to them for doing it.
No, props to the Russo brothers, because oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
What's funny about them though is they're known for comedy before Winter Soldier, right?
But they got comedy in this.
They do.
They nailed it.
But the action is some of the best action I've ever seen. Like, not even just in a superhero movie, just like overall.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
And it's the way they handle it, it doesn't become overwhelming. And that was a problem for me with Age of Ultron when the final fight scene, they're all encircling this main MacGuffin thing that's going to save the day or ruin the day or whatever, and just metals flying everywhere and people running around screaming, and you're like, well, I don't know what's happening. With this, it's like you take it piece by piece while also looking at the bigger picture, which that comes down to fight choreography, with the writing, with the directing. I can't I want to be the Russo brothers after watching this movie.
They tried something new every single time there was a combat.
Yes.
And in a very innovative way where you're like, wow, how come no one's done something like that before?
Yeah.
And I think when they do combine their abilities, that's what's really fun for the comic book fan because, you know, they're a superhero and they're showing their super abilities. And when they figure out how to work together with that, we have seen that before in Age of Ultron, but to see it again now, it's so thrilling. They're one-upping it for sure.
What's really cool about, I think, you know, all the fights in action is like they're not trying to be cool. Like everything's very subtle. Like you know, you see a lot of movies like this is cool. You're gonna like this. Where they do everything very subtle. Where it's like it's cool because they're not acknowledging it really. It's like, oh well, that just happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And if they do, it becomes like a big joke for it. It's not it's just. I wanted to cry after watching this movie. Sorry, I got emotional again as a nerd, as a fan of comic books and of all these. My babies right here. They're all my little babies.
Well, that's the thing. The expectation now that superheroes are in a mainstream environment, you're not only having to appeal to the masses, but also the diehards that know these guys so well.
Yeah.
And I think that they are over the board pleasing everyone and everyone.
Because they understand the characters so well. That's what Marvel Studios as a whole. It's like they know who Captain America is. They know who Iron Man is. Like they know their characters and they translate so well.
And more than that, they know Black Panther and they know Spider-Man. And like again, we don't need to go into it, but I have to say, when it comes to a writing standpoint, they balance the introduction of new characters very well.
Yeah.
And throughout the movie, they had something to do. It wasn't just like Sony's got or Marvel's got the rights to Spider-Man again. It's like, no, he has a purpose in this movie. And boy, just quick props to Tom Holland.
The whole audience erupted into applause when he first arrived, after his scene, and then at the end. Like, every part of this guy's
his name just came up on the credits, and everyone's like, It's like, oh, so he's the definitive Spider-Man now.
And
there
I
it is.
have to say, I was very, very wary about this when I first
you were
heard about it.
She was very vocal about a little boy playing Spider-Man.
I didn't like how they were kind of thrusting him in, where it's like, hey, come on, there's so many characters already. We need to have a nice character arc and a lot of time concentrated on each one of these characters. Throwing another one in, well, too many cooks in the kitchen, too many cooks. And then I was worried when we saw him in the trailer, under rules, and he's like, hey, everybody. I was like, oh, God, what's happening? I will happily eat all my words. I take it all back. I was so wrong, and I will admit that. For me, we're going to talk about our favourite characters in this movie. Hands down, he was incredible. He was one of my favourite parts.
Before we get to that really quick, how did you feel, as a non-really comic book fan,
I haven't been reading them for 7 years.
How did you feel with Black Panther in the movie?
Sign me up.
Sign me up.
I'm in.
Charlotte.
I'm in.
Yes.
I love it.
Bozeman,
That was very
the man.
That could have been hit and miss really with him because of his background.
Looking like a Power Ranger?
Yeah.
Yes.
You know, he is very kind of feline. He's got claws, and it's like, oh, this poor guy.
Aw.
It's like a nail file.
Next
but no,
to Iron Man, you're like, oh, he's popping claws. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
All right.
But if you do want to do some research into the background of this character, you know, again, it could be hit and miss. It's like he is. Is it a spoiler if I say what he is? Or do people know?
Yeah, who Black Panther is?
Yeah.
You could say. You
could
may
say,
say.
yeah.
You may say. Yes.
Yep.
He's a king. So he has sort of like a royal aspect, which we haven't really seen before. We've seen a billionaire philanthropist, hardest word to say. But to have someone who's kind of got royalty in there is a very, very different mix. And it's like, oh, yeah, right. That ain't gonna work.
Right.
It does.
It does. How'd you feel about him?
Black Panther, I love Black Panther, and again, just like the way they introduce, like, you know, all the new characters, I guess, in this movie, it's just like flawlessly. Like we were saying earlier, that they all have a purpose, and it's like the way, because there's a bunch of different subplots, but it all works together so well. Like the writing is so great. But yeah, like, you know, you said he looks like a Power Ranger. I was a little worried too, because, you know, like the helmet that like clips on and stuff.
Yeah.
But it worked out. He has some of the coolest fight scenes in the movie.
He does.
How graceful is his movement?
Exactly. That's why I bring up
Yes.
the choreography, not just for, Black Panther, because you have to get like the cat-like movements of the character, but also when it comes to Iron Man fighting against Captain America, or like you bring in like Ant-Man and he's fighting somebody else, or Hawkeye. Like how do you make all these characters fight, but also make sense? Because like you send Hawkeye after Iron Man, like what the fuck is the point?
Yeah.
It works though. It works, and that's a big thing for this movie. And you brought up, let's talk about favorite character. Favorite character. Really quick, just pick one. Go ahead.
Spider-Man. Everyone who watches
Oh, well, Spider-Man, all right.
he's one of my favorite characters in comics anyway. He's like top 3 for me, but it's like I think we've found the definitive Spider-Man. You know,
I feel bad for
like,
Andrew Garfield because he was actually really good as a Peter Parker. Like he was one of my faves. Like Tobey Maguire, jog on, but like.
Hey, I mean, he's not horrible.
Hey, they had 3.
Hey, he did
That
have
shat on
3.
everything that he's good for. So for me, I kind of like. I wish Andrew Garfield had a better run and was able to do more with that character. But it's just
because
like
I kind of felt bad for him because they were supposed to do a 3rd one. They're like,
and like Sinister Six and everything.
We worked it out to he's going to Marvel now. He's Marvel Studios, which I'm happy about now though, because that's. I mean, like I said, going back, he's great. I think this is much like Robert Downey Jr. is like the definitive Iron Man. Like if they were ever to recast him, people would be like, "What? No, that's not Iron Man."
Like Hugh Jackman as Wolverine.
Exactly. I think that's going to be the same case for Tom Holland.
Good on him.
As Spider-Man. He was just
He's a real good actor.
No, props to him because he when he goes up in scenes against other like Robert Downey Jr., Chris Evans, like everybody, he nails it. He holds his own. Man, it's do I get envious? It's like just like if you've ever wanted to be good at something and then you see somebody just like, damn it. What are you, 18? You 13?
Yeah.
Can you drive? I don't know. Yeah, he did a fantastic job.
He's
for
been,
me. What's that?
Oh, sorry. He's been in several movies before, but like now after this, I feel like this is like he's gonna be everywhere. Everywhere.
Oh, he's hot property.
And I cannot wait for his solo Spider-Man outing, Spider-Man Homecoming. Foreigner formal, good. I love that. Yeah, it's fantastic. But for me, I think for favorite. Damn, I don't want to say Spider-Man 2. I don't want it to be unanimous.
Then let's say our second favorite. If it's a unanimous Spider-Man, who's our next?
Oh God, I should have thought about this more. I will go with Ant-Man.
Yeah, you've
I love Ant-Man. I'll go with Ant-Man. Got a soft spot for Ant-Man.
Small place in your heart for him.
He fit in well with this too.
Yeah, thank you. Well, pun is always intended.
Her brand is puns. I will say Ant-Man has a soft spot. A little tiny place, man, right there. He also fit in amazingly with the rest of the cast. With,
it was fun.
Yeah, his movie was good.
Yes,
but it was very different. So it was.
It was finally on a big scale. Like that movie was known and worked because it was like not the end of the world or the universe. It was an insular problem that he kind of had to deal with.
Exactly.
So now you put him on a big scale, and I think he does a very good job in it.
What about you? Second
favorite character. Okay, so I can't say Ant-Man. I gotta say Winter Soldier.
Oh yeah,
I loved Black Panther, but again like before this, Winter Soldier is my favorite movie. I just love the whole Bucky Barnes' storyline, his choreography for his fights, because everyone's fight style is completely different.
Yes,
and,
I love that.
He's got that arm, which
he's
he can
got
do some
that
cool
arm.
stuff with that arm.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm trying to think. Let's go through them all again.
Team Cap. You got Captain America, the Winter Soldier. Who else is on it? Falcon with Red Wing.
That was
Red Wing was
fun.
great.
It was a really good introduction.
Scarlet Witch and
Well, Scarlet Witch was a lot better in
Hawkeye.
this one than she was in Age of Ultron, I felt.
Without getting too much, they do give her a good arc in this.
I kind of wish we saw a little bit more Vision, to tell you the truth. Like he's such a fascinating character, and you only get a base amount of him.
Yeah.
He's right there. But what would you pick? And then you got Team Iron Man. You got who's on team? You got War Machine. You got Iron Man. Black Widow.
Well, Vision's also on that team.
Oh, Vision's on that team. There you go.
You know what? I think they use Black Widow really well. I think that they, for someone who's just an assassin and doesn't technically have like superpowers, she holds her own. She does a really good job in there and has plenty of wow moments as well.
She does. Actually, right now in Marvel with the All New, All Different, she's got a new comic out and it's been selling like gangbusters and a lot of people have been going crazy about it, so that's really cool. I loved her the most in Winter Soldier. Age of Ultron, they tried that whole Hulk
with the Hulk thing,
thing, which wasn't terrible in my opinion, but I think the Russo brothers know her character and know how to handle her among other, like Winter Soldier, who is a military superhero, so they can kind of work together and meld and mesh and make a good story out with it. But yeah, that's my jumbled opinion on that.
So let's flip it. Who do you think kind of was the least, the underused character, the one that could have had a lot more? And
I'm going to say mine last. How did you feel? Who do you think was most under?
I'm going to be honest, Bucky Barnes for me.
Bucky Barnes, that's what I thought that was interesting.
You do get a lot of insight into him, and Winter Soldier was, he is the Winter Soldier, but I kind of wish he had a little bit more heart and substance to him. It would make a lot more sense in the storyline if he showed more emotion or had a little bit more purpose behind him. And I think that so much about the Captain America Winter Soldier relationship, it didn't really go much further than that. There were a few throwbacks into their relationship back in the heyday, but that was it. I kind of wish, if these guys are best friends, I could have seen it more.
Okay.
Right.
What about you?
Oh man, that's a hard one.
Yeah.
Underused character.
Who
Who would I want
could
to
you
see?
tell a
Underused.
little bit
Underused.
more? No, he did great. He's in great.
He's great.
Well, I'll tell you who I want to see more of. Who I don't necessarily. Well, I guess he's underused in a sense just because I wanted more of him.
Yeah.
Is I wanted more Ant-Man.
Yeah,
It's like
okay.
he was great, and I just was like, I want him more on the screen.
Yeah,
I
I want more.
just want to watch him more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't wait for Ant-Man
Yeah.
and the Wasp. I have to say, I feel like for Captain America Civil War, Captain America was kind of underutilized, which is so weird
Yeah, it's his
when it
movie.
is his movie.
Yeah.
And that's not saying that I didn't enjoy him, that he didn't have some kick-ass moments in this, and he still had,
Literally.
and he went like he did like a full arc and everything. But at the end of the day, I felt like I learned more about Iron Man, I learned more
Yes.
about Ant-Man, I learned Spider-Man, Black Panther. At the end, I was just like, Captain America's still just Captain America.
I think
it's
At the
kinda
end of
hard
Winter
for him.
Soldier, huh?
They're like,
Well, I think
he's been in other movies before.
It's kind of hard for him because his past was so long ago, and so any kind of like family storylines or anything like that doesn't exist. It's just kind of him and Winter Soldier in a way.
A little bit, which, I mean, there are things you can do with that, and I think they tried to explore those options, which you guys will see in the movie, but these are our opinions. You guys can let us know in the comments down below. Favorites, least favorites, things you had gripes with the movie. Overall, did you guys find yourself having a lot of gripes with this
I
movie?
did question one part with you. There was a decision that was made, and I so much of this movie makes sense, which is a hard thing to do. It makes
when it
sense.
comes to people dressed as cats running around,
Yeah.
it makes sense. It
Oh,
makes
and
got
good
an
luck,
iron suit.
not one person will be able to say that Black Panther is a pussy. Like, I mean, it's like waiting for it, it's begging for it, but it won't be said.
It is begging for it.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yes, no, it will not happen. But I guess for me, in terms of Iron Man's motives, there was one. Oh no, and Iron Man's motives, and the fact that there was one team versus another team. One thing happened kind of close to the end of the movie, and I kind of looked at Sam and I went, "Why?"
Why?
The
I
one
did give you a reason, writing-wise, why. But if it stuck with you, it stuck with you. Did you find yourself having many gripes with this movie?
Not really. I mean, there was one thing which I actually can't say because spoiler free.
Yeah, of course.
But overall, no. It's funny because I came out of the movie. I'm thinking, I have to have at least one thing, right? And
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I was smiling the whole time.
Yeah.
I wasn't all out. It was just really fun and really well done. You know what I mean?
I have to say, I'm on the same page.
Right?
There were maybe, this is it, guys. This is my review. Take a picture of it, put it on your wall or something. Thank you. Yeah, there's a camera guy over there. I think there may have been one or two minor ones.
I think we're talking about the end was somewhat. I want to say there was great
Being
ebb
careful,
and flow.
being
Yes,
careful,
that was-
being
Amazing
careful.
ebb and flow throughout the whole movie, and then at the end you kind of realize, it's over.
Yes.
You are left feeling exhausted after this movie. You're like,
Yeah.
I've been put through
Right.
a lot of feelings, and I do feel like when Marvel has been really trying to pitch, we're doing darker movies, but like when Age of Ultron happened, you're like, okay,
Yeah.
I mean,
No.
you kind of did, like you
Yeah,
kind of
your
did.
main antagonist is singing rhymes to
Yeah,
it.
he stopped saying Pinocchio.
Yeah.
God. No more Pinocchio stories, please. But with this, I think they got closer to what a Disney Marvel movie can do when it comes to a dark themed thriller, whatever genre this is. Whatever genre this is, please let me know in the comments. You got superhero, you got thrillers, you got comedy, you got
a thriller,
man.
I guess.
And also, I got to throw this in there. How did you feel about the comedy in this movie? Because
Loved
Marvel,
it.
they love
I
their
ate it up.
quips.
Yes.
They
You know
love
what?
the quips. But
Consider me the mayor of Quip City because I was all about it.
I think Age of Ultron, we're like, oh, crap, come on, man. Like, I can't just talk like normal people for 10 seconds. Don't make a joke. With this, it's like, okay, the comedy makes
It's
sense.
clever.
It all works.
It's natural.
Well, it actually goes with the relationship that these people have together.
Yes.
It's how
Right.
they're able to joke with each other, not a standalone joke that hopefully makes sense.
Yeah, with Iron Man in his little black box, like making a joke about language, and it's like, okay, all right. Let's do some quick final thoughts on this review. What would you say? Were there any words you want to give the audience going into this?
Go on.
Arris.
Going into this, I'm just be ready to have fun. Essentially, like it's a roller coaster, but it's an awesome roller coaster. And like you were saying, you might be a little tired at the end, but not like bad tired. Just like, what did I just watch? That's awesome. You know?
At the end, when you notice that your watch is 2.5 hours ahead
it
now.
doesn't feel like that, right?
It does not.
It goes so quick.
It's like a roller coaster. You're like, that could be really long, but it's over in 10 seconds. You're
Exactly.
Like, all right. How do you feel? What would you give the audience as a
When I watch a movie,
token?
I love to be entertained. That's how I enjoy my movies, which is why I'm so into sort of like mainstream geek media. And I was just on the edge of my seat, clapping, in awe. There were so many surprises that were lovely, and there's, you know, great shock value in there. The whole choosing a side thing, I feel you don't have to. You don't have to choose. You don't have to choose.
You go
a side.
all over. The movie will pull you back
It's
and
true.
forth and just turn you into a pretzel at the end with all the side switching. I would say just do your best. Marvel and DC like to release clips before movies come out. Don't watch them.
Yeah,
Don't watch them.
No.
They're just meant to hype you up, but just go in there and try to experience the movie as this wonderful little present from Marvel.
Mind you, the trailers that came out for this movie before, I actually thought enhanced my experience.
The trailers. I'm talking about the clips. They release they
Yeah.
like to release clips. Like one out that is right now is when Ant-Man meets the team for the first time, and I'm like, come
yeah.
on,
Yep.
let that happen. Let go, just
getcha.
experience
I'm the guy
that.
when that comes on TV. I'm like, la 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 la
I-
la.
I know,
at first-
I'm like,
When Avengers came out, they did one that was like, here's Vision's introduction. I was like,
That's
wait,
a
why wouldn't I
big-
want to see that when the movie came out? But overall, guys, if you were disappointed with Batman v Superman, or if you loved it, whatever, it's kind of a hit or miss with a lot of
This
people.
isn't a DC versus Marvel
Yeah.
moment that we're having. This is a good movie. Like, is this a good and entertaining movie,
Right.
regardless of who's making it?
True. But if we want some superheroes versus superheroes that are the good guys, you're like, why are they fighting? This movie makes a little bit more sense, in my opinion. While DC's, you get it at the end. It makes sense. It's a bit of a mess. Batman v Superman. Watch that review in the comments down in the description down below. But guys,
Let's rate it.
if we're gonna rate, I can't. I'm sorry, I'm having a little bit of a panic attack thinking about this movie again because it's so fantastic. Thank you. Can I get a quick fan? Thank
I'll
you.
help you.
Can I get?
Wow,
Can you get all? Thank you.
Because like, if anyone was to call you one or the other, you would be a DC fanboy.
I am a
but you're about
DC
to burst into
fanboy.
tears.
You can't be biased. I mean, it's just amazing.
It's
is.
whether it's a good movie or not.
It is amazing. And with those words, what would you rate this out of
Right
10?
now, out of 10, I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm giving it a 9.
Give it a 9? I'm giving it a 9.9. I'm
That
sorry.
is a near perfect score. That is closer to. No,
Sorry.
that's an.
Yeah,
I think it's like
go that way. But guys, I hope you go see this movie as soon as it comes out, and we will have a spoiler full review the Friday that it is released live on SourceFed Nerd. Make sure you tune in and watch with us. There's going to be a lot of crying on my end of the couch, okay?
I think if I watch this again, my score could go up.
Really?
Yeah.
If that's not incentive to go watch this movie, I don't know what is.
yeah, right.
As soon as I watched it, I wanted to see it again,
Mm-hmm.
and I usually don't like doing that.
For a 2.5 hour movie, making you want to watch it again immediately after is pretty big.
It's like, so how much do we have to pay for you guys to replay it?
Yeah,
Like, right now, I'll stay right here.
right
I don't even
back
gotta go to
on.
the bathroom.
That's awesome. But guys, thank you so much for watching this. Arris, thank you so much. Where can I find you?
They can find me on Twitter at Arris_Quinones.
Bam.
Or
How do you spell that one?
first name Arris, ARRIS, _Quinones, QUINONES.
Bam.
Also Variant on Twitter at Variant Comics. And you could subscribe to our YouTube channel www.youtube.com/variant.
Very
and then
cool.
you could see this face if you would like.
If you'd like. Guys, if you like anything superhero and you want to get like in on it really fast, his channel is the place to go. He does a great job and he has awesome videos. I don't mean to blush or anything. It's just I'm a big fan of his
Oh my
channel.
God, who are you, Ant-Man right now?
Captain America muscles.
Oh my God, there's muscles! Oh my God, there's
There
muscles!
are a lot. If you like muscly boy butts,
Damn.
there's a lot in this movie. A lot.
I'm going back to the gym.
Right?
Wow.
Motivation, go to the gym. Guys, I'm Sam Basher. You can find me on Twitter at Sam Basher.
I'm Maud Garrett at Maud Garrett on all things. Unless it's
Oh,
YouTube.
all
it's-
things.
It's big bomb.
Awesome. But guys, make sure you tune in on Friday. Then the Friday that Civil War comes out, we do our full review. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Sam,
Bye-bye.
we need to get you a glass of water.
I
need to cool down.
hold on. Excuse me one sec.
Yeah. Hey. Yep.
Bye.
I'm just really excited. I love Civil War.
We're gonna need a change of pants.
Please state your name for the court.
Batman.
I'm sorry, what? Could you say it again, just clearly?
It's Batman. I'm Batman. I'm him. Bruce.
Bruce Wayne? I heard Bruce.
Batman.